Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest. Riker, we made a video on the Raptors possibly blowing the NBA draft, not doing what we wanted to, but I think they more than made up for it after the draft, signing Rawle Alkins as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, most likely Rawle Alkins. This is take 2 of the podcast. Called him Rawle Alkins. Yep. We're going with Rawle. Feel free to correct us in the comments, though. But this man, he could be a diamond in the rough. Didn't really know him too much. Neither of us are huge into the college basketball scene. Played alongside DeAndre Ayton. But if went back after he got picked up for the summer league, checked out his high school mixtape first, and oh my God, was blown away. This guy, he's got hoops. He's labeled as a 3-and-D guy now, but if you look back at his playmaking ability when he was the number 1 person on the team in high school, this man seems legendary.
Yeah. No, definitely check out his King of New York Balls Life mixtape. It'll blow you away. We had to make a video on this guy. Usually we wouldn't make a video on undrafted free agents, but he could really be the next Fred VanVleet, the next diamond in the rough, superstar undrafted free agent.
Well, he's more athletic than Fred VanVleet, for sure.
Yeah. Not play style, just impact.
Not play style, yeah. Just in terms of like picking up the quality player that's going to make other teams shake their head for thinking, how'd they pass on this guy? But I think, he has some skills, it seems. We'll talk about that first, I guess, in just terms of what he's looking like. I mean, he's shooting 36% from 3 in college, so not horrible shooting mechanics. They say that his shots maybe a bit flat, but I was looking at some of his workout videos. I mean, he has a good work ethic. He grew up in New York playing hard-nosed basketball, and if he can, if he has the ability to dribble and take somebody off the dribble moves that he wasn't able to display so much in college, then he seems like he could be the all-around package.
Yeah, well, he's described, you mentioned, a 3-and-D guy. His player comparison is Lance Stevenson, but he's got the thickness of PJ Tucker. Yep. Just imagine a Lance Stevenson style player that's a very thick man. So that's Rawle Alkins right there. Yeah.
Well, you said it yourself last time, man. Imagine the front court or the back court. I always get those two confused. We got Kyle Lowry, OG, Rawle Alkins. These are some thick boys out there.
That's
be a menacing
thick backcourt right there.
Backcourt.
Yeah.
There we go. That'd be a menacing backcourt.
Yeah. No, just that defensive lineup, no one's going to post them up. No one's going to try and push them around. But what were the reasons that he fell out of the draft? Because he's a prototypical player that you want in the NBA. Can hit threes, can play defense, can create a little bit, do all these different things. What were the problems with Rawle Alkins?
As usual, when draft stocks slip, it's normally due to injuries. So he had, an injury, broken foot, missed 9 games, I believe. To me, foot injury, especially at a young age, is probably the most minor of any injury that you could possibly get.
Yeah, except that weird bone thing, but like ankles and.
Yeah. Well, I didn't look into his medical report, but I'm just assuming that it was just a regular foot injury. Certainly correct me if I'm wrong if you know the actual bone that was broken. Another thing he skipped, he did a second year in university, and I see some comments that say, why did he slip out of the draft board? And because he left too early and too late, so he kind of passed on that first year window where he has like all this potential, and did a second year where expectations are a lot higher to improve, and then perhaps he wasn't as flashy as scouts would have expected. Maybe it would have been better for him to stay another year, that he would have been healthy for a full season. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, he's a product of a system, right? He's playing with DeAndre Ayton. He was specifically told that they don't want him as much for offense. They want him for defense, and he accomplished that goal, except for, the collapse in the actual March Madness. But I don't know. He's a player where I think if you allow the court to be opened up more, because he's able to create a little bit in addition to his defense, which any team needs in 3-point shooting, I think that he's definitely a guy that's going to be, that was slept on, no doubt.
Yeah, most definitely. He also is turns over the ball a little bit, but that's also a product playing out of position. As you said, he's not expected to create that much, so if he does get the ball in that situations, because as a high school player, all these guys are, having the ball in their hands 24/7, playing in that Arizona system definitely wasn't, a great team, but wasn't going to show his skills like the Kentucky guys. They're good, but they don't shine as much as they could have. And obviously being a second year, his draft stock fell. But
yeah, well, Kentucky's on another level. They have so many big name players. What do you think? Is 6'4" undersized now in today's NBA as a shooting guard? Is 6'4" undersized?
I think, if you're a skinny, maybe 3-point shooting guy, definitely. But when you're thick like Rawle Alkins, when you're athletic and you can, body people up, I think it's not as big of an issue. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It seems like kind of the typical mold nowadays, though, is like 6'6", 6'7" is shooting guard, especially with the point guards, just pushing up and, kind of making this crazy average now that like point guards are 6'4", 6'6". Like, it's becoming typical for, just the average height to just be pushed way up. And then at the same time, though, center, the center position is going down. Like, unless you're a very smaller, athletic 7-footer, then it's like 6'10" is sort of where it's capped off because you're just pushing that small forward or maybe stretch 4 up to the center position.
Yeah, small ball.
Yeah, it's taking over.
Get that small ball game.
It's taking over.
No, most definitely.
But does it get you excited, man? Does this pick get you excited? I think that, we're legitimately... Well, actually, no. That's what I had in mind. All right, so I think that the reason that we have Fred VanVleet sort of explode onto the scene, or any of the guys, Jakob Poeltl, right, Powell, DeLon Wright.
Siakam,
I'm getting DeLon Wright, and
yeah.
I'm getting Wright and Powell, like the names are confused. I know the players, but the names, just like when you texted me with that trade rumor, I freaked out. But without Jerry Stackhouse, do we have the ability to develop players as well as in past seasons? Will Rawle Alkins be able to thrive in the G League and then come up and be phenomenal without Jerry Stackhouse?
Well, the 905 is basically the Golden State Warriors of the G League. They've been super successful, and a lot of that's built around Jerry Stackhouse. So it's going to be really interesting to see who Masai Ujiri brings in to keep that winning culture alive in the G League and hopefully keep that development going. Because as you mentioned, our whole bench mob, probably the most exciting thing about this season came through that G League system. And we're all late first rounders, undrafted guys, second rounders. They weren't, top 10 picks besides Jakob Poeltl. So the Raptors development staff has been good, and I trust Masai Ujiri to bring in someone to replace Jerry Stackhouse, but he deserves a lot of the credit for building that culture of a, 905, the 905 team, really developing them to be NBA players, and hopefully that will carry through with Rawle Alkins.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So what do you think his timeline is then? When will we see him suit up with the Raptor squad, play a couple minutes?
Well, as he said, he's a 2-year college guy, so he's not, one of those 19-year-old Brunos. He's not one of those guys. But it's going to be interesting to see, because if we keep DeMar DeRozan back, our backcourt is loaded, right? Obviously, we're hoping DeMar is back next season, or at least I am. But, we got Fred, Lowry, DeMar, Powell, DeLon Wright. Those are some guys really fighting for minutes there. And you got Lorenzo Brown there, too, who's itching to show what he's got. So it'll be a tough rotation to crack, but it's early in the summer where it's going to be interesting to see where the minutes are going to come from. But I think if he's given the opportunity, he could probably show that he's going to be an NBA player.
True. And he might get dropped before the summer league's over too, right? Mm-hmm. Or after the summer league.
Well, he signed for training camp, so he'll be in the... It's going to be exciting to watch him and OG and the guys go at it in summer league.
The next question is, who is going to be the shining star first? The Brazilian Bruno, or is it the Brazilian Kevin Durant?
The Brazilian KD. The new Brazilian KD. Malcolm Miller.
Malcolm Miller. Who are we going to see explode onto the scene first? Malcolm Miller or Rawle Alkins?
Man, I'm telling you, the Brazilian KD. We had to, for the people that don't know, when Bruno left, we needed a new Brazilian KD on the roster, and Malcolm Miller took up that role, and I just got faith in my boy. And our front court is a bit less jam-packed in the backcourt, so...
Yeah. There's that small forward space.
Yep. I'm saying the new Brazilian KD.
Fair enough. All right, well, Listen, we might see Rawle Alkins this season coming up if, he gets a full contract, if he plays with the G League for a couple of years. I'd say we'll probably wait a year before we even see him put on the jersey.
Yeah,
and
like Fred. Like Fred did as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Fred didn't play the first season he was with the Raptors. He only played spot minutes, and once he got his opportunity, he really shined. I think that's going to be the case with Rawle.
Yep. But James Harden called him up, trained him how to do the NBA pick and roll. He's going to be a weapon in the G League. He'll be a weapon 2 years' time when he steps up. We got ourselves another sleeper. Let us know what you think.
His motto is Savage Life, Riker. Savage life.
Hashtag savage, man.
So that's all you need to know there. Rawle Alkins is going to be a big baller in the NBA. I'm calling it now.
Nice.